Thanks for listening to the GigSalad Greenroom interviews. I'm your host, Destin Harrison, and in today's episode, GigSalad's own Brian Jenkins will be presenting an interview with Kevin Brown. Kevin is a multi-talented entertainer with a pretty full resume. He started the Uptown Comedy Club in Harlem, New York. He was Tracy Morgan's first talent manager, and he even worked alongside Tracy in NBC's 30 Rock, where he played a lovable intellectual who goes by the name of .com. After the series ended, Kevin kept two important souvenirs from the show: .com's name and some incredible momentum in the entertainment industry. Since his success on NBC, .com has been developing some interactive comedy game shows that he's titled One Joke Wonder, Karajoke, and Knockdown Dragout. But he's been focusing most of his efforts on what he really loves to do: stand-up comedy.
.com, welcome to Springfield, Missouri, home of GigSalad.
Thank you for having me.
All right, very cool. So you're from New York originally?
Born and raised in New York.
And when you say New York, you officially mean...
You know, I'm born and raised in the projects of the Bronx, in the hood.
Right.
And where hip-hop originated.
Okay.
You know, this is where the first DJs did their scratching, and the first MCs got on the mic and created rap, and then the first breakdance crews were formed. This is where hip-hop originated, right outside of my window in the projects of the Bronx. So me and my buddy, we would practice writing these rhymes, but we do it in the house. We do it around each other. Mm-hmm. Take your rhymes and say your rhymes in the thing. So we out in the street, in the park, and we get on the microphone and just start saying these rhymes over the sound system. And then, hey, you guys are good. Let's go and do a party, and let's go and do another one, and let's go and do another one. So we put together our little crew, and we would go around and do these street jams.
Okay.
And just basically plugging into the lamppost and entertaining the kids in the neighborhood or whatever, or for a cookout or for a block party or something like that. So we fast forward to now I have my crew, and I'm getting ready to go to college, and now we can go do parties. So we have a crew, and somebody wants a birthday party, somebody wants a back to school party or whatever. We can, you give us a couple $100, we come in, we'll do a party. And then we started promoting parties.
Okay.
So ultimately, the party promotion got huge. I'm 20-something years old, and I'm promoting parties at the Jacob Javits Center in New York. Mm-hmm. I'm promoting parties on the aircraft carrier Intrepid.
Wow, yeah.
And I remember I'm still in college, did a huge party. Our parties got so huge, like 4,000 people, 5,000 people would show up to these parties. And the places we were doing it only held 1,000 people. So it was way over. Right, yeah. It was but it was an amazing evolution. Like everything just came together, and it just got so huge. So then I transitioned from being a party promoter to a club owner.
Okay.
Or a club promoter.
Yeah, okay.
The party promotion business got so big where I did a concert one day. It was actually a party, but I had some rappers performing. Rappers who went on to be superstars, like platinum artists now. But I did this concert, and a riot broke out.
Oh, okay.
And I lost all my money.
Oh, wow.
Like I'm 20-something years old. Well, I'll go before that. I did a party, and I made like $150,000 in one night. I'm 23 years old. That's how many people came to this party. So if you can imagine having $150,000 in cash and not having enough bags to carry the money in, because the party was
that
so
happens
successful.
to me.
Yeah, all the time.
Yeah, I know
right?
exactly what you're talking about.
So
that's what I call Thursday.
Yes. So I had briefcases and plastic bags blowing in the wind, filled with money to get it home. And now I'm sitting on top of the world, right? And now I do this rap concert, and a riot breaks out, and I lose all my money. Maybe 4 weeks later, I'm dead broke. So now I'm licking my wounds, trying to figure out, what do I do now? I'm 24 years old. I was thinking about giving up this college crap because I made all this money, and now I lost all the money. What am I going to do? And my brother, who was a budding comedian, invited me sold me a ticket to a comedy show he was putting on. And in Harlem on 125th Street.
Okay.
And he rounded up a couple of his comedy buddies. So I bought a $20 ticket to this comedy show. Now, I didn't want to give up my $20 because I just lost all my money from that concert a couple of weeks ago. So I buy a $20 ticket, and I'm sitting in the audience, and the show doesn't start on time. Now, So after about 30 minutes goes by, 45 minutes goes by, my brother comes to the audience and says, Kev, I need you to host the show. This is his comedy show that I bought a ticket for $20. What are you talking about, man? I bought a $20 ticket. Man. I can't host no show. No, but none of the comics want to host. I don't know what to say to these people, but he knew I was an MC. He knew I was a rapper. Right. He saw me evolve from being a young kid and knew I was used to being in front of crowds doing all these rhyming. So he figured that could translate to this comedy show. So he begs me to come host the show. And I said, well, you got to give me my $20 back because, I lost all my money. I go up and I host the show. And I said, man, this is incredible. If I had such a great time, I bet other people are going to love this. Let's do it again, but I'll handle the business part.
Right, yeah.
And you handle the creative. Now, I was able to handle the business part because I had done all these parties. So I was used to renting venues and hiring the security and setting up the sound system and all the things that it takes to prepare an event. I didn't go to college for it, but I just learned it naturally by doing these parties. So we did the next ones and we were looking for a name and we ended up calling it the Uptown Comedy Club.
All right, yeah.
And the Uptown Comedy Club became a huge thing in New York. So anyway, so we started doing this thing, the Uptown Comedy Club, and I realized that I couldn't afford to pay the comedians in a way that I wanted to.
Right.
So what I had heard about this term called barter, and I was like, okay, we're going to do this barter thing. You guys perform on my stage, help me keep my doors open, and I will in return pay you by giving you a place to perform. I'll teach you how to negotiate contracts.
Okay.
I will teach you how to get good at your craft. Mm-hmm. So I provided them free workshops. And it was just a great match. It was like a match made in heaven. So people that came through my workshops, a lot of them are big stars now.
Yeah.
Tracy Morgan.
Okay. Yeah.
I was Tracy Morgan's first manager.
Okay.
Yes, he came to my club. Tracy Morgan was at my free workshops. JB Smoove was at my free workshops. Mike Epps, Dave Chappelle came through a couple of times. Wow. Jim Brewer. I mean, guys that went on to be super duper successful.
Yeah.
Bill Bellamy. I mean, a ton of amazing comics.
Yeah.
20 years later.
Right. Yeah.
But back then we had no idea that guys from the hood could go on to become super successful, super millionaires and stuff like that. We didn't even know that was even possible.
You're listening to the GigSalad Greenroom interviews. I was telling a friend of mine about one of my favorite musicians the other day, and he told me, oh yeah, I hired him to play at a party I was throwing one time. He wasn't famous yet, but he sounded amazing. There are thousands of musicians and comedians and all kinds of other performers out there just waiting for their big break. And in the meantime, they're dying to perform at your next event. Whether it's a birthday party or a wedding reception or a corporate event, just go to GigSalad.com to find out how we can help you book something awesome.
It's my mission now for 2016 to tell people, I'm a comic and I want to perform for your audience.
Yeah.
I want to come and do the interview, of course, but I also want to show you guys how skilled a comedian I am. Because I got the comedy bug. Even though I was doing it for a lot of years, I didn't have the bug. I just did it. But I love it now. I love telling my story. I love sharing it with people and letting people know that guy that they know from 30 Rock, he's really funny. And, so I'll perform in front of anybody. If you give me a crowd of 3 people, I want to perform. If you give me a crowd of 300 people, I want to perform.
Yeah.
If you give me a crowd of 3,000 people, I want to perform, and I'm always ready. But when you're a comic, when you're an artist and you're trying to get your name out and whatever, you go, you hit the clubs, you try to get as much stage time as you can, and you do the dance and whatever. And people, you generally spend the beginning of your career, even though you might get on stage, you're still anonymous.
Right.
They did not come to see you.
Right.
They came to see the show, or they came to see the headliner before you, or they came for another reason, and then they happened to see you.
Right.
And your goal is to make enough of an impact throughout your performance that they'll say, hey, who was funny? That big guy.
Right,
Or,
yeah.
you know, it was funny, that bald-headed guy, you know.
Right.
But they still may not remember your name, even though they enjoyed what you did.
Mm-hmm.
But as long as they enjoyed it, that's the first step.
Right.
And then you have to figure out what do you have to do next to make them remember your name, to make them
Right.
go home and say, hey, Kevin Brown, or hey, .com was really good at what he does. But we all go through that thing, and 30 Rock changed that for me.
Right.
30 Rock changed that. So
That's your line skip.
yeah.
That's your
absolutely.
pass. That's your, like Disneyland. That's
Yeah,
your fast pass.
Yeah, that's my fast pass. 30
Yeah.
Rock absolutely gave me the fast pass.
But there's a whole career that leads up to 30
Yeah,
Rock. I mean, that's the thing. You weren't just some big guy walking down the street
Right.
and Tina Fey looked out of her office and said, "Bring me that man."
Yeah,
I mean, it was
that.
relationships. It was you being in the right place, being perfect
Yeah.
for the part, and then leveraging that now
Yeah.
to do
Yeah.
this other thing.
Yeah, because when I got on 30 Rock, I got on I wasn't a principal character. I was a featured background.
Mm-hmm.
Featured background means they knew that I was gonna be on camera. I would have a
Right.
close up or two. That's the featured part. But I didn't have any lines. My name wasn't on the credits.
Mm-hmm.
I wasn't gonna get the big money. I was still gonna get paid as a background artist. It was spontaneous combustion. It was real life spontaneous combustion. The way my character became relevant from a featured background guy getting paid $126 for the day to, you know, this .com character that it evolved into.
Yeah.
But it really just happened that organically.
What's your favorite .com moment?
There was a scene that I did with Tina Fey.
Mm-hmm.
And I think Tracy Morgan was sick at the time because they wrote me in as a character that I couldn't figure out why they made me the character, but they had me play astronaut Mike Dexter, Tina Fey's imaginary boyfriend, astronaut boyfriend.
Yeah.
And in my mind, Tracy Morgan should have been playing that role, right? Based on the structure of the show.
Yeah.
But we walk in and they had me play astronaut Mike Dexter, and I was supposed to come to Tina's apartment to intimidate her neighbor to get him to move out of the apartment she wanted to get his condo also, or something like that. And the guy playing her neighbor is a cop, and she didn't know it. Mm-hmm. And she knew he was gay, but she didn't know he was a cop. So I'm coming in, and I'm supposed to start an argument with her. She wrote out a dialogue for Mike Dexter to say. So I bang on the door, boom, 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 boom. I don't know if you remember this episode. And I'm, yelling at Tina. Yeah. And it's some fake yell. They tell me, act like you're not serious. We know it's a scene, so I'm acting like it's a sort of made up situation.
Yeah.
So anyway, this guy, I'm yelling at Tina and I'm saying these things, and this guy who's a cop, he comes out with the nightstick and he hits me in the leg, and the line just said in the script, "Oh Lord," right? Like one of those old, lady, whatever. So the guy comes and we shoot it. The guy comes, he hits me in the leg, and I say, "Oh Lord," but I say it wasn't timed right. Mm-hmm. I'm supposed to say, "Oh Lord," and fall. So I do it all. He hits me in the leg, and then I don't say, "Oh Lord," and then I don't fall right, and whatever. And I turned to Tina and I said, "Tina, I got this. And she said, "I know you do," which made me feel so much.
Right.
And so we did the next take, and I did it perfectly.
Yeah.
He hits me. Right after he hits me, I yell out, "Oh Lord," and I throw my arms up and I fall. And the crew, you could see the camera shaking.
Right. Yeah.
Because people are laughing, but you can't.
Right. They can't.
You can't laugh now because the camera's rolling. Mm-hmm. And then we finished the scene, and okay, cut. And then everybody screams like, "Ah!" Like they were holding this laugh and just waiting. And then it literally got the biggest laugh that I've ever seen in the whole 7 years. Like it was the one huge scream laugh moment that made the wall shake.
Yeah.
And then when we watched it later, when the episode was together, you could feel the walls vibrate. Everybody was just waiting for this moment. Everybody bust out laughing.
Yeah.
So that was an important moment for me.
Yeah, exactly.
because I'm a comic, and that's what we go for.
Right.
You know,
The big
we
laugh.
tell our joke, and we want the big laugh.
Yeah, the gut laugh.
Yeah,
not the snicker.
That's
but
that one for me was really what it was all about.
Our thanks to Kevin Brown for stopping by the Gig Salad Green Room and sharing his thoughts with us. And if you'd like to keep up with Kevin on social media, you can find him on Twitter at .com30rock, on Instagram at OneJokeWonder, and you can check out his website at onejokewonder.com. For everyone here in the Gig Salad Green Room, I'm Destin Harrison. Thanks for listening.